Hello felting friends, welcome back to Chicken Run Creations. I'm Dawn and we are continuing our series on our little fox. If you saw my last video, you saw that we were working on building up his face, and because I just couldn't stop, I started the camera up again to do some more. So I'm going to continue working on his eye area here and see if I can't get that the way I like it, and then we will go from there. We'll see about either putting some top coat on or not sure what we'll do. So I'm just gonna put the speed up on this and work on his eye area a little bit more. I'm really liking how it looks. I just want to kind of do this up just a little bit more. So I will work on that, and then I'll come back and we'll figure out what we're going to do next. So here I'm just kind of smoothing out the little spots that I put in by just putting a thin layer of core wool over them. You probably don't necessarily need to do this because it will get a coating of a top coat over it all anyway, but I just helps me to visualize it better without the added bumps and what have you from adding more parts on. I'm gonna add, because so it's not like just an eyebrow right here, it's kind of built up a little bit more behind it, so I'm going to add a little bit more back in there. All right. It's not too bad. So I need to add his mouth down here. Oops. So I'm going to take a piece of core and going to kind of make a mouth shape here. This is going to be, it's a little big, so I'm going to fold it. Tack it down here a little bit. It's probably going to be too big still. Let's see. Maybe not. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of round the top part of it here. Just a very rough shape. Let's see here. So his bottom jaw sits back a little bit away from the front. So I want to make sure that I have this back a little bit and get it even. I'm just gonna tack it into place here. Just stab it in here really good for a moment to hold it in place, and then I'm gonna work on shaping it a little bit more on the sides. Okay. So a lot of times when you see a fox, it kind of looks like he's smiling. So it would kind of come up like, get it? This. Like that a little bit. See if I can get this on the same side here. See if I got it even. I'm just marking where I want that little smile to come. His feet out of the way here. I can just kind of attach the rest of this down here. I'll help build up his chest a little bit too. All right, now, so since I want his mouth to kind of end here, I want to get this right back in here felted down pretty good. I feel like his mouth is going the wrong direction here. I might need to build this up a little bit more, but right now it's just kind of given me a shape to work with. That's not too bad. I think I might need to bring it out a little bit more, but I want to make sure I leave the definition here. See if I got this even. Okay, let me see if I can find a side picture here. So you kind of see here his little smile. Let's see, kind of compare them a little bit. Yeah, I'll need to bring this up a little bit more. That's easy enough to do. Let me take a few rounds. So I just take this and wrap it around like that. And if I need to do another row, I can do that. And keep the definition of his mouth here. I don't want it to get too fat because his lower jaw is fairly thin. That's better. I need to come out just a little bit more. Let's see if I can get just a small piece here. think that's better. Okay. So there we have his. Now the back of his head looks a little funky, but I'll build that out more once we get his ears attached. I want to get his ears in here first, because if you look here where his ears are, and then you got extra on the back of his head here, so I don't want to put too much in there. I want to be able to get his ears attached there, so I'll wait on doing that to get his ears done. But I think I still have to put the coloring on his eyes and, you know, define the rest of his face a little bit more, but I think as far as using the core, I think I'm happy with that. I might, looking at the picture here, I might build out his muzzle here just a little bit more, looking at the picture. Let's see. I almost feel like his eyes are set too far back. Here he's got a little bit of a poof there. Might, I don't know, let's see, I think that'll work. Okay, so now I guess I can start working on his underside. Because I only have, let me see what I got here weight wise. This is the same, yeah, so I have plenty of white, so I think maybe we can start working on his underside since I have time. I'm just gonna kind of firm this up a little bit here, and then hopefully I'll get my other top fox color in by the end of the week, if not sooner, and I can work on that, but at least you kind of see how I'm going to do this. And I'm going to try and be a little more intentional with placing my wool so it looks good. Because I definitely probably could have used a little bit less and more care with my prototype. Alright, so I'm just going to get his legs out of the way here. So I have found that, let me move this out of the way for a minute. The best way is to cut. Now normally you don't want to cut wool. Normally you want to keep it, you want to pull it out, but I found for doing this, for doing like hair and stuff like that, it's best to cut it. And about the same, I mean, you're going to trim it. Now I think I was doing, so here's some of what I was using for my other one, which I think is too long, longer than I need. So I'm going to go a little bit shorter this time. And hopefully I'm in the camera here. And I'm just going to cut a bunch of this. Probably just cut the rest of this. So I think these are, so they're a little bit over an inch. Oops. And one more here. All right, to that side. Okay. So I need to move my longer pieces so I can keep that with my prototype. And I'll keep this here. And then what I'll do is I'll use up what I have, and when I get down to a little bit more, I'll cut some more. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit and I'm just gonna kind of spread it out and try and make it pretty even. Hopefully I'm in the camera here. See, like that. Try not to have any like really big clumps. And I'm gonna start back here between his back legs. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my my clover tool here with my 2 needles. I'm just trying to lay this out fairly even. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to felt right down, that fly is back, felt right across the middle of it. You can see that. And I felt it in really well because I wanted to hold. You can see that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this top part down. Oh, this fly. And I'm going to go right across the top that I just folded down. And stab it in there really good. Okay, so see all the way. So you can see we got fluffy little fur here. Now we'll do the tail, this part when we do the tail, but for now we're gonna just work on his belly. So again, I'm gonna take a little bit and kind of fan it out. Make sure that I'm still in camera here. And then I'm going to go, well, this is where I run into problems because I either have too much of a gap or not enough of a gap. So I'm going to place it. I want to start felting like maybe about 1/4 of an inch above where the last one was. So I'm going to put it up a little bit above the last one. And I'm just going to do the same thing about in the middle. I'm going to go across. Let's see. I think we're okay. If you have it up with too much of a gap, you can go back in and fill it in. I got to do that with the other one. All right, so I'm just going to stab it in really good here. Fold the top part down. Gonna hold it in place. Oops. Come back here. And then stab it across the top. And making sure that you get it in there really firm so it doesn't come out. Because you're gonna wanna kind of brush. I mean, you're not gonna use like a regular brush, but you're gonna kind of wanna brush it out a little bit. So there. So we have 2 layers. The nice thing about doing it this way is, like, if you have some little gaps, it's usually okay, because when you fold it the top over, it kind of covers that. All right, so once again, probably about 1/4 of an inch above, go down the center. So we'll worry about his legs later. Right now we're just going to kind of go down the center of his belly. Hold it down. You can do this with 1 needle. You don't need the clover tool. It just kind of goes a little bit faster if you can use 2 needles instead of just 1. So I think his belly needs to get felted a little bit more here. I think these are 40 triangles, maybe. I know they're not my spiral. All right, so you can see that there. And then you'll give it a little trim when you're done. But I'll go up the belly a little bit more here. I'll speed up the time. See how far we can get. while I'm thinking of it, when you're putting your fur, you want to think of the direction that the fur goes on the animal. So if you look at, let's see if I got a picture here that kind of shows it. Actually, let's try this one instead. So you can kind of see, how his fur is going back in this direction on the side. When I did the other one, I did the sides going down, but this one I'm going to do it going on the side. His legs, it would be going down. Now, I'm not going to do his legs so much because they're really kind of really short. So, I'll have some up in here, but this I'm just going to probably just color just with the top coat and not make it furry. But the belly, if you look at your dog or whatever, you notice the fur's going back towards the back. So when I do the front, it'll go down. So that's why I'm starting it this way, so it kind of lays to the back. So just looking here if I have too much of a gap here. Sometimes it's really hard to tell where you're going down. That might be too much of a gap. We'll see once I trim it, if I need to fill it in there. So, all right, I'll get back to filling it in here. I think I need to put one in there. It's bugging me. So if you need to fill in a gap, it's easy enough to do. Just pull your top layer out and felt in where you want it to go. Now I'm going to get the bottom a little bit longer than the top, but that's okay. And then just to hold it down, I'm just pulling it down a little bit. And then I'll stab it in. You can take if you're using a multi-tool, you can just kind of brush it. See, like that. Just to kind of get an idea. You're going to lose some, but that's okay. So I just like to kind of brush it down, see how it looks. And again, eventually we'll end up trimming this, but some people trim as they go along. I've kind of done it both ways, and sometimes it's easier if you do it as you go along, but I'm kind of afraid of cutting too much. So I'm going to just wait, I think, because probably what I'll do is I'll just kind of brush it up a little bit and then trim it across. But for now, we'll leave it laying down like that. than this. I'm kind of going uphill a little bit here. Story of my life. Okay, so since I have more on this side, I'm just going to do a little bit. Do a little bit over here. Right along the same line. Here how far I want the white to go, because if you look at our picture here, you can see that it's the side of it is mostly the reddish color, so it's really just underneath. And I have here, I just have a air and water soluble fine point disappearing ink pen that you can use for sewing. I just find them at Joann's. And this isn't going to keep on here, but I just want to just kind of mark where I want my side to be here. Let's see. It's not too bad. Just to kind of give me a framework. I mean, you could use just a Sharpie even, because it'll all get covered up anyway. So I'm just kind of going like from the middle of his legs back, and then from here will all be the orange color. So that's all. I'm just marking it so I know where to put my edge of my wool. So I think I'm going to call it here, and I will pick it up on the next video. We'll continue doing his belly. Hopefully by the next video I'll have the fur that I can start doing the rest of him. But so you can see how that's looking. Again, that'll all get trimmed up too, because I don't want it too long. So anyway, we'll give it a stop there, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. See you next time.